Jojo, you sleeping? Say, why are you bothering me on this fine Thursday afternoon? Aren't you beautiful? You're so pretty. Look at my boy. He's like, I'm trying to sleep. But that's how you be bothering me when I'm trying to sleep. So now I'm gonna bother you when you're trying to sleep. Love you. Wow. So this thing literally got darker when I pressed play. I mean, when I pressed record. So hopefully you can see me. Welcome to Ask Bronx. This is not necessarily a series, but this is just where I'm gonna be answering some of y'all's questions. I get a lot of questions that people ask frequently. People ask me the same types of questions a lot. So I want to keep everything in like one place so people don't have to keep asking me and I don't have to keep recording new videos based on these questions. So I have on Patreon what you guys asked me. I'm going to answer about 10 questions, pretty much going in order from what you guys asked me. All right, and then I think I'm going to upload this to, I got 2 channels now, Tarot by Bronx and Life by Bronx, because some of these questions are like more about me and not just about spirituality. So here we go. What prompted you to get into tarot, and or what has your spirituality journey been like? I get this question a lot, like every day, and hopefully this video will help people so they don't have to keep asking me and I don't have to keep explaining. I'm sure I'm gonna have to explain it more, but what prompted me to get into spirituality? I've always been into astrology. I've always loved zodiac signs. When I was little, I used to always read the zodiac signs in the newspaper. Like my grandpa, he would give me that page because he know I like to read it, because I was like, I always read for Virgo, but I always was like, which is so funny, I used to be like, I wish I could read for more of my sign. Like, is this it? Like, it's just Virgo? Like, I don't know. I always wanted to be another sign. Like, I didn't want to be a Virgo. I was like, that seems boring. But then it's funny because I found out that we have a whole birth chart. But yeah, so I've always been into astrology. Spirituality came after I experienced a very harsh, like a heartbreak. It wasn't like a breakup, but it was like a really bad rejection that shook me to my core. I'm not sure what it was about this specific person that triggered this like ego death and this heartbreak, and I turned to tarot. I seen YouTube readings of tarot to find guidance and find healing, and that's how I pushed through. And then I said, okay, I want to do this. I want to start my channel so I can help other people heal through similar heartbreak situations. I feel like this person was my first soulmate, like my real first soulmate. So that's why it triggered me so badly, and that was a catalyst for my spiritual awakening. But ever since then, I've used spirituality and it's been a part of my life consistently. What is your skincare and workout routine? So I'm going to upload a video. I'm going to upload 2 separate videos on Life by Bronx, which will have my workout routines and my whole skincare routine that I do basically every day. So look out for that. Those are going to be its own separate videos because there's a lot that go into both of those things. Where are you from? I am from Bronx, boogie down Bronx, New York. And then I moved to Charlotte. So I live in Charlotte now. And I went to A&T, North Carolina A&T in Greensboro, Aggie Pride. I graduated from A&T last year. And my degree was in media design. So I'm good at media things as well. So yeah, I'm always back in New York. I go to New York because my grandparents live there. I've gone back to New York to visit them after I moved every year, 2 or 3 times a year. So I have family that's still there as well. But yeah, I'm from the Bronx. What would you say to someone trying to balance anger during their spiritual journey? That is a really good question. I'm still trying to figure that out for myself. It's very hard. I am someone with a Scorpio Mars, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising, Scorpio Chiron. If you know anything about having a Scorpio Mars or a Moon in Scorpio, you know that anger is a very triggering emotion, and it's not just like regular anger. It's like this deep, dark, just boiling pot of lava anger. And it's really hard for me to express anger. I suppress it a lot, and I invalidate my anger most times until it explodes and comes out at the wrong times. So what I would say is do your best to, when you feel anger coming up, be aware of it. Don't suppress it. Accept that it's there. And it takes you looking at your childhood to say, or you could see like where you had been invalidated when you were angry, or when you tried to express any emotion. Your parents or your caregivers could have told you to just get over it, or to keep it to yourself, and now you don't really know how to deal with it. And so doing your best, I think writing it down helps me a lot. And if you're angry at somebody, not talking to that person when you're here. Okay, you don't want to be at a level 10 trying to explain your anger. You want to focus on your anger and look at what it's showing you about yourself. Like, really examine it. Take a detached approach to it. Be like, okay, this person made me angry. That's like a very base level thing, because anger is deeper than that. Anger is like, yeah, somebody caused it, but the anger we're feeling has to do with us. Okay, it's our emotion. So what is it? Did you feel rejected? Did you feel betrayed? Did you feel belittled, like jealous? What kind of anger is this? And that can help you like break it down and understand where it's coming from. And then feeling it, okay, saying, okay, yes, I am angry. Most of the times we try to be like, no, I'm okay, like I'm not even that angry, like that didn't bother me. That is not going to help you. It's going to suppress. It'll keep building up, and it'll turn to resentment and all these other things that you don't want. So that's what you need to do if you are dealing with anger and your spirituality. And there's other things, like you can meditate, of course. You can, I'm a huge advocate, like I said, of journaling. You can listen to music. You can pull cards and ask what you need to do in the moment. All types of things like that. All right. Where do I start with spirituality? It depends what you're trying to do with spirituality. Once you have a category, I would say start with a category. The main categories are tarot, astrology, and root work. So first is saying, okay, what do I want to do? Like I started in the tarot. Okay, so I knew the first thing I had to do was get a deck, and then I had to learn the cards. So it's kind of like taking step by step. If you're into astrology, or you want to start with astrology, looking at your own birth chart, or getting familiar with the basics, sun, moon, and rising, sun, moon, and ascendant, whatever you identify with. It's starting from the very basic level. I have a couple astrology books, and let me know. I could link those in the description. I'm going to try to remember everything that I need to link in the description box. But if you want to do root work, what does that look like for you? Or you want to do Reiki, you have to put it in a category first. I would not try to just do everything at once, because spirituality is a wide range of things. So you have to decide, what do you feel most called to? I started with tarot, then I started moving into astrology. Now I'm kind of moving into root work, and I'm trying to branch out into making my own oils, making my own sprays, candles, merch, all that stuff. But it started with just tarot. So really it's about, what do you want to do first, and then sticking with that, and then growing outside of that. Okay. Okay. So I've seen some people say that we have at least one sign / planet in every house. But when I look at my chart, I don't have a planet in every house. No, you will not have a planet in every house, because there's not enough planets to go in every house. I think there's there's 12 houses, and how many planets is there? Like 7 or 8. So you're going to have empty houses, and that's not a big deal, okay? What it means is when you have a planet in a house, that planet is just adding extra influence to the house. So let's say you have, like, I'll use my chart for example. You have your moon in the 12th house. That means that your emotions are going to be really tied to 12th house themes, because your moon represents your emotions, and the 12th house themes are hidden things, lost things, karmic debt, spirituality, so things like that. Now let's say you have an empty 7th house. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong there. It just basically means you don't have any planet influences there, or no like strong karmic ties, okay? So there's no extra influence there. You're still gonna have like romance. It doesn't mean that you're not gonna have love if you have an empty house. There's just not enough planets to go in every house. So yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just there's no extra influence on that house from a planet, okay? So yeah, you're not looking at anything wrong or anything like that. Somebody asks, what is the best way to spiritually address childhood wounds and shadows as a supplement to therapy? Honestly, I would say both coincide. I feel like I need both. I don't know if you, like, for everyone, I do recommend therapy along with your spirituality. I don't feel like one replaces the other. I think I would need both forever, because therapy supplies you with tools that you might not have, because people who are licensed therapists, they go to school or they take courses, they take classes to get the knowledge to help others. Now, that's not to say that you can't read your own books, you can't get your own information, but it is certain things that are hard to be self-taught. But if you're just trying to focus on the spiritual aspects right now, I highly suggest, one, knowing what your attachment style is, because your attachment style can tell you a lot about what your childhood wounds are. So do an attachment test, do a personality test. They have a lot of them online. They start doing shadow work prompts. As you know, on here on Patreon, I started doing that shadow workshop, and we're about to be finished with that. So there's other types of groups that you can possibly join. They have on Amazon lots of self-help books or shadow work books specifically. So it's kind of just looking up, one, like getting familiar with your attachment styles, so you'll know what your childhood wounds are. And then on YouTube, they also have a lot of great podcasts. I kind of just look up things. Like, there's like a whole bunch like of everything, but I like the more interactive stuff. So Amazon has the self-help books that you can use for childhood wounds. I'm gonna do 2 more questions. Have you always read tarot cards reversed or only recently? Yes, I've always learned. I learned it upright and reverse. I actually started doing less reversals now though. With all my decks, I've recently put all my cards upright and just let reversals come out. I won't flip them back upright. I'm gonna read it as reversals. But that's what Spirit's been calling me to do, is to keep all the cards upright now, and if they come out reverse, read it reverse, but not just keep the reversals in the deck. I don't know why they told me to do it like this now, but I've always read reversals, and I will always read reversals, because I do feel like in certain cards it does change the message. It changes the message of a spread. So yeah, I've always read reversals. Some of these are about T-squares. I'm not sure about that yet. So this is the last question here. Does sexual content create bad karma, or how does that work? I do not feel so, because you know, in spirituality we have chakras, and there is a sacral chakra which has to do with your sexuality. And without that, like, your sexuality is a big part of your creativity and your passion, and that also ties into spirituality. So no, I do not feel like sex content or anything sexual based will create bad karma or blockage, because it's natural. If you suppress your sexuality, you're also suppressing creativity and passion, which is also tied into spirituality. And that's why a lot of people have a blocked sacral chakra, because they are blocking out their sexual side, or their our human instinct, our natal side of ourselves that we need to express, that brings out that passion, that raw emotion. So no, that doesn't create bad karma, because that is a part of who we are. It's a part of what we need to be creative beings, to exert our passions, to feel confident. And I do feel like embracing your sexuality does boost your self-esteem as well. All right, so that's part 1 of Ask Bronx. Please feel free to add more questions to that thread on Patreon, and we'll get more questions. It doesn't have to just be about tarot spirituality. It could be about me, my life, my friends, sexuality, all that stuff. All right, I am at Tarot by Bronx on everything.